Do you think there will ever be? Do you think Bravo will ever do a show where the husbands go to like the Bahamas together?
I wish, and every single day, Rachel, every single day, and I tell everybody when it messages me, message Andy. All right.
Have you ever talked to Andy about it?
But every once in a while we'll see. I don't come across Andy too much, especially since there's not a reunion this year.
Right.
I got into the cannabis business. We're huge in the cannabis business. All right, that's what we do. And Andy is a huge, undertaker when it comes to cannabis. So I have to make a point to bring him over some of our good product. So I may have to talk a little joint with him and talk to him while we're smoking.
Okay, so if they could put together an ultimate men's trip, who would go on it with you?
It would have to be, for sure, me, Joe Gorga, Joe Beningo. I like Eddie Estefo, who I'm friends with from Potomac. Mauricio, just because Mauricio, he garners a lot of attention.
Right, and he's such a stud. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Who else? I have some other people that are not. I'm very close with Todd, Alexis.
Oh yeah.
That's Dave's ex-husband now. I'm not even sure they're in the middle of divorce, but they're still cordial. And I spoke to Todd.
He just friended me on Instagram.
But Todd did?
Yeah.
Todd's great. I got to be honest. He's in the Northeast up here, so he's not here. He's your transplanted Floridian.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I'm not so into Miami guys, but if he's from the Northeast, then I don't mind.
Yeah, he is. He's from Staten Island. He came from Staten Island.
Is he really?
Yes. He's got a very interesting story because he's very, very successful. Owns millions of square feet of real estate down there. And what's good, they lived in the Porsche building in Sunny Isles when we were down there. I didn't even know he lived there, Right. Then we became friends. We went out to lunch with them. And Todd and I do some business together. And Todd's good people.
So you've had a number of different. Okay, go on. Wait, finish. Who else do you think?
I'm trying to think without insulting anybody. Some of the people I'm friends with. Seth from Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
Right. I would say PK, but I don't think PK would last with us out there. Yeah. See, our personalities conflict.
Have you met PK?
No, I haven't.
Okay. I used to date PK.
Come on.
I swear to God.
Are you?
Way before Dorit, he was getting a divorce from his first wife, Loretta, and I worked in Las Vegas, and he was one of my customers for a year, and he was living in London at the time, and we were very close, and he was always trying to get me to date him, and I was like, PK, no, or that's not happening. And his friends would come into town, and I would have the best time with them. I loved them so much, and I loved him as a friend, but I was like not attracted to him. But his personality is very similar to what you see on the show. It's intoxicating. He is such a fun, good guy. And one day I woke up and I was just like, I think I'm in love with this guy. This is crazy. And I dated him for like a year. And
did you really?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, so I was going to say, since we're talking about everything, I was really going to say, what was it that attracted you to him?
It was his personality, obviously.
All right. Okay.
But he was as a client, he was a fun client. I worked in the nightclub industry for many years, and he was the one that cultivated this client that spent this enormous amount of money in bottle service. That we didn't have that before then. I worked at Tao in Las Vegas, the #1 nightclub in the world at the time. Yep. We had people who would spend $100,000, $150,000, sometimes $200,000. When I worked with PK, the first night I met him, he spent $100,000 in New York. Then he came to Vegas with me. Every time he would come to town, we would fly on, Robert Earl's jet, and we would go to Vegas, and he would bring all his friends. And then it was 300. Then one night he did $450,000. He took all his hundreds. He was throwing them out. He was judging a go-go contest. Everyone loved him. My job was to make sure I stayed sober so I could make sure he signed the bill.
Exactly.
And he made it home alive. So he wouldn't charge back the charge.
Yeah, but we need him for next time too.
Yeah, exactly. So, he was a customer. I was working for the company at the time, but I really loved taking care of him and all of his friends. And he had an amazing personality. Clearly, I don't think he's physically my type, but it goes to show you that love maybe is blind, and you can like someone for their personality.
100%. It's a shame because you don't realize that until you get older.
No. Oh, for sure. for sure. And now I'm 49 and single. So if you know anyone,
I said, oh my God, you're facing the big 5-0. Are you really? God bless you. I would never. You look great for you. Good for you. Whatever you're doing it right. God bless.
Thank you. Thank you. But I feel, I'm very happy for you that you found the one and that you are taking the plunge again. I want to ask you one more question. So you said you got into the cannabis industry. What else are you working on? Like what are you doing these days?
We've always had a construction company for 30 years. All right. That's our main thing, construction. We've owned Harley Davidson dealerships. We've always owned big gyms, powerhouse gyms, Kohl's gyms. And then the cannabis. I gotta be honest with you, cannabis has really taken up my life for the past 4 years. And I'm not a big smoker. In fact, I don't really smoke that much at all. Give me some gummies every once in a while, yes. But it is very, very interesting, and it's good. It's a good money. Financially, it's a great field to get into. And New Jersey is a great market, and we're still a new market. And we're trying. Florida's going. You guys are all recreational soon, so we're trying hard. Believe me, we're trying hard.
Yeah. Well. I'm not a big smoker. I spend the whole time walking around saying, "How do I know if I'm high?" Like,
you know, believe me, especially with the gummies. People they take the gummies, you feel nothing. The worst thing they do, let me take another one.
Right. And then you end up in the corner rocking back and forth, being like, "My life is miserable." You never know what you're gonna get. But I don't know. A lot of my friends love it. They know how to microdose and do all these things, and they swear by it. So I'm just too much of a pussy to get involved in that stuff. So.
Nothing wrong with that. Believe me, that's fine. That's fine. But it's an interesting field, and it's I've learned a lot. And it's a very interesting group of people.
Yes, I'm sure.
Oh. Yeah.
Anything else that I'm missing that you have some inside scoop that I should be asking you about?
No, everybody keeps asking me about what's going to happen, and I can none of us know. None of us know.
If you guys were going to hear that you were brought back for next year, when would that historically be? Like, do you have
normally we would have known by now.
Okay, so that's normal.
All right. So we would have known by now when we were, but that nothing at this point, Rachel. We don't know at this point. No, nobody said anything. We're tight-lipped about it. We don't know, and it's not anybody. Nobody on the cast has any idea.
And do you feel?
They've been, listen, I know Bravo's been making some inquiries, out to some other people. So they think the cast is going to be mixed up a little bit at the very least.
Right. And is anyone like sitting on the edge of their chair panicking about it?
I think everybody everybody is a little bit apprehensive, a little anxious about it, for sure. All these people right now that they're not sure whether they have a job next year.
Right. No, I know that is quite frightening, I think.
And the thing, let me tell you, the one thing, and we don't argue. You never argue on the social media, because if you argue on social media, you're going to lose. All right, you're going to lose. It just happens. And I just go along with it. I love the people. People think I'm unemployed. People think I live on Dolores' coattails. We just go along with it. You just go along and have fun. It's funny what people and how they look at the show and they just believe everything is real.
Yeah. Okay, forget the show for 1 second. What are you looking forward to in the future?
I'm looking forward to, I need to learn how to relax. I gotta be honest with you. Rachel, I can't go away for more than 3 nights. I get anxiety, all right? And I have a great group around me. I have a great company who can run the company without me. Right? I have to learn how to relax. All right, we're getting married. We're not doing a honeymoon until we're planning a honeymoon in March. And I'm trying to do 10 days. And I can be honest, I get anxious over it. I'm a workaholic. My kids are workaholics. All right. And I always have to be moving. Yeah. And I think cannabis is going to be my last stop.
Yeah.
Right? So, and I always looking forward to something. I get bored. I sell everything, move on to the next thing. But I think this might be my last thing. I do want to end up down by you guys. I'd like to be a Florida resident and be there at least 6 months out of the year. So yeah.
And would you pick up golf? What would you do after you retire?
First of all, I'll never retire. That I can never retire. Mm-hmm. All right. Golf. When I first became an attorney in our firm, we had the country club. Golf is the most frustrating thing for me because it's not hit the ball harder and you're doing better. No, I definitely will not golf. I love shooting. I did. I was a Florida resident for quite some time. Down there, if I leave the house, I got a gun on my ankle, I got a gun on my waist. I thought I was, Clint Eastwood.
Right.
So yeah, I like shooting. I do like shooting. I love working out. I did the entire gym, the fitness industry that I still love. I do.
Yeah. Well, maybe you'll get into something with fitness. That could be interesting.
We did, between the gyms, and the problem is, honestly, you're a little too young for this, but 30 years ago, you're paying more for a gym membership than what you're paying now. All right. So,
Is that right?
Yeah, you couldn't get into a gym for less than $59, $69 a month. Now you got $9.99, $19.99.
Oh, you're right.
That's one of the reasons why I got out of the gym business. And we had 6 large gyms at one time. They make your money, but it didn't outweigh the headaches that came with it.
Right. So, yeah. I forgot about that. It was $59 a month or something. And it sounds, or $39, whatever. And it sounds inexpensive, but then when you add it up for the year, that's actually kind of expensive, especially if you're not going.